Today I'm going to be talking about something that is very important for our mental health and well-being, but tends to fall into the background. It's something that I really wish I had a better understanding of when I was growing up, back in my 20s and even my teens, because I think I would have suffered a lot less from anxiety and bouts of depression during those years. And that is the idea of having self-esteem. I'm going to be going over 5 things that you can do to start to feel better about yourself and really improve upon your self-esteem. Before I get into that, I want to talk about what self-esteem actually is, because many of us have a slightly confused understanding of the definition of it. I find that a lot of people see self-esteem as confidence, but to me, having confidence means having a belief in your own abilities, whereas having self-esteem means you're able to recognize your own worth regardless of your abilities. I see it as more of a foundation of who you are. It's you at your core, and we all at our core have infinite worth in this world, which is actually the first thing that you can start to do to build your self-esteem, which is to believe in your own unconditional human worth, period. What it means is basically you as a human, simply because you exist, have infinite worth. This concept of unconditional worth was developed by someone named Claudia A. Howard. And it's this idea that all human beings, regardless of appearance, status, money, performance, achievement, ability, we are all equally worthy and we all have intrinsic worth, period. Just because you perform better at something doesn't mean you are better than anyone else, and vice versa. I think a lot of us tend to think, once I have that job, then I'll feel better about myself, or once I have that boyfriend, then I'll be deemed worthy. But the reality is, even without those externals, you are worthy. And so if you're someone who, when you get rejected, your whole world crumbles, or if you put a lot of weight into how you perform at work or what you're looking like to feel good, then this is a concept that you too might need to work on understanding. And something that helps me to kind of understand my unconditional worth as a human is to think about an internal light inside of me. I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but when I visualize myself, I don't think about what I look like, my body, my accomplishments, whatever. I try to visualize a light that is inside of me that is going to be shining no matter what is happening on the outside. The next thing that you can do to help to improve your self-esteem is to love yourself through language. What I mean by that is pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Notice the way that you think about yourself if you make a mistake or if something goes wrong. You know, sometimes when we're talking to ourselves in our head, it's not specific words that we're saying to ourselves. It's like images or thoughts, right? It's kind of like a swirl. But take a moment to really pay attention to what it is that you're thinking about yourself, and start to shift your language from being negative or self-critical to loving and compassionate. I'm going to be creating a video that goes a little bit more in depth for how you can start to shift the way that you think about yourself. But for now, I have a worksheet that you can download posted below where you can start to think more deeply about what it is you're saying to yourself, and also strategize for ways you can shift those thoughts to still make them believable, but more positive. This next idea to help you improve self-esteem is one that is so relatable to so many of us and is often at the root of our deep insecurities, and that is to start appreciating your body. Our body is just our vessel, right? So we don't have a lot of control over what it looks like. And unfortunately, the world that we live in tends to focus much more on the appearance of our body and not so much on the wonder that it is. So many people that come into my practice really struggle with their appearance, and it stops them from living their life fully. It is so easy for us to focus on the things that we do not like about how we look, whether it's our weight, imperfections on our face. I mean, I know I am so guilty of doing that. And one thing that you can start to do to try to counteract some of that negativity is to start to focus on the things that you actually like about your body. And it doesn't even have to be the way that it looks. It can be what it does for you. I mean, think about it. You were once just a little group of cells that somehow knew how to multiply into the being that you are today. Those cells knew how to grow your skin and your hair and your organs. They just automatically work. You don't even have to do anything. Your body does it for you. And so when we really take a moment to appreciate the magic that happens in our bodies every day, those negative thoughts that you have fall a little bit more towards the wayside. Of course, course, for many of us, those thoughts are always going to be there, but I want you to start to try to bring in a little bit more positivity. Even right now, take a moment. Think about 3 things that your body does for you that you're grateful for. I mean, for me, I have this voice, so I can talk and work and create a YouTube video or work with my clients, right? I love to eat, and so I'm very grateful for my taste buds for allowing me to enjoy the pleasure of food. My cat's sitting right here, so I'm appreciative of my fingertips. I'm able to pet her and hold her. I mean, our bodies do so much, even just breathing. Acknowledging the things that your body does for you that are right is really, really helpful when counteracting some of that negativity that brings down the way we feel about ourselves. This next aspect of self-esteem, I think for me, has been one of the most life-changing, and that is to allow yourself to dream big. So when I was in graduate school, I took this class that was amazing. It was called Creativity and Spirituality in Healthcare. It's probably my favorite class of all time. And we did a lot of meditations and creative activities that really helped us to feel good about ourselves and believe in ourselves. But one of the most powerful meditations we did was one about dreaming big. And so I'm going to give you a little taste of what that meditation is like. So take a moment, you can close your eyes, and just think to yourself, what if everything in my life could go right? What if I tried something and it actually worked out? What would I want to try? What kind of person would I want to be? What would I do? This isn't so much about manifesting that perfect future for yourself, right? And making sure that it happens. But it's about believing in the fact that you are worthy of those things, whether they happen or not. It takes a lot of courage to dream big and to imagine that everything could go right for you. But when you do so, you create this spark, right? This spark of, oh, yes, I'm worthy of this. If I can think it, maybe it means a part of me thinks that I deserve it. And you do. Believe me, you do. So this last concept around self-esteem that I want to go over, I intentionally am talking about at the end. And that is because many of us put so much of our self-worth into this one area, and that is the area of growth. So of course, when we grow, when we achieve things that we want to in our lives, it's going to make us feel better. But you don't want all of your sense of self-worth to depend on whether or not you're growing. It's more like the icing on the cake. It's gonna make it taste better. It's gonna help. But it's not the foundation. It's not that understanding of your own conditional worth, regardless of how things pan out for you. But I do want to mention it because it's what's going to keep you moving forward in your life. So I'm a huge fan of flowers and therapeutic metaphors. So I like to see growth as blossoming. Just like a flower bud naturally will grow into a gorgeous bloom, it is in your nature as a human being to want to grow and blossom and continuously become the person that you want to be. When it comes to self-esteem, it can be really helpful to think about just that. Who is the person that I want to be in this world? Think about the kind of qualities that are important to you in a friend or a loved one. What do you admire about other people? Maybe you like someone that's kind, right? Or compassionate or fun, or someone who's open-minded and flexible. If those are qualities that you really appreciate in others, think about how you can develop them a little bit more for yourself. And remember, developing self-esteem, it's a lifelong practice. Some days it's going to be easier than others, but if you really put energy towards thinking about these concepts and trying to shift your thoughts a little bit, you can start to feel really good about yourself and have a generally appreciative view of who you are. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you did, and let me know if there are other topics around mental health that you'd like covered, because it helps me to create better videos for you. Thank you so much for being here, and have a good day. Bye.